Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Fahrenheit AI. Today we're going to look at content credentials. That's something new on the landscape in AI generated images. Content credentials can be found inside of Adobe, or there's a content credentials website. You can think of it as a nutrition label for digital content. The system offers users views of content components and provides information about the creator, the creation time, and the date. This first image that we're looking at, I did use AI to modify a piece of the background. It shows that in the content credentials. It shows who is the creator, the date, kind of a history of the file. The part of the image that I modified was creating the black background. The original image was given to me with a white background, and the fade around the beak was a difficult transition. In order to speed up the process of rebuilding it, I circled that tiny area and used AI. Now the image inside of the content credentials is labeled as AI generated. The next image I looked at was created from an AI inspiration. There are some elements developed from the AI that were redrawn. There is an AI base. The content credentials doesn't show any of that. It was created outside of Adobe. You can see between the original image and this image, the AI content has dropped off the content credentials. The next image that we're looking at was entirely created in Photoshop without any use of AI generation. The content credentials shows that perspective, there is no AI generation. I am the creator, the date that it was created, essentially showing that this is an original artwork creation. It does notify of some layers that are off. The next file was created in Midjourney. So this is a fully AI generated image and has no modifications in Photoshop and was just opened as a download from Midjourney. Midjourney is not participating in content credentials today. And as you can see, it's showing nothing AI generated. Now I'm going to select an aspect of this image, the microphone top, and change it and generate an image of ice cream and see what happens inside of the content credentials. It shows the ice cream generations, so I can pick one and I'm cycling through. But now as I go back to the content credentials, it's showing that there is an AI generated image aspect and it's showing the different options that I selected as a history in the file, which is a little more detailed than the original file with the eagle. It's actually showing the AI image generation. So maybe that's one clue that you were actually generating an image versus using it to clean up a file. But I wondered then, is there a way to evade the content creator credentials if you wanted to? So if someone received your file and they turned it on to see what the history was, could you avoid that? So I opened up the Midjourney file again, but it's modified this time with a different naming protocol. I selected the image, I applied the ice cream generation again. So this way I'm starting with a base that's a little bit removed from a direct AI generation, even though I know that the content creator doesn't identify Midjourney at this point. At least I'm kind of starting with a blank slate. I've generated an AI image inside of that. I've collapsed it. Now my content creator shows AI generation. As a next step, I'm going to go to my history palette and make a copy of the file. Now I'm going back into my content credentials. And while it shows that the source of the file is unknown, there is nothing listing the AI generation anymore. I've completely eliminated any AI generation just by making a copy. It's a one button click. I'm also curious to know if I create a new image and I apply the original image that has the AI generated image inside of it, will it carry over the content credentials? So I go in and I apply the image. and I go back to my content credentials, and it has again the warning that it doesn't know the source of the file, but in fact, there is no AI generation. Next, let's look inside of ChatGPT and DALL-E and find out what content credentials interaction it has. I've asked it to generate an AI-generated image of a hand. It gives me a perfect hand. And I say, I want something that looks like the original AI generators. Essentially, I want it to have more fingers. It gives me another perfectly generated hand with some extra swirling patterns. I have to specifically tell it, I'm asking you to generate more fingers. My goal is to give the content credentials an image that any human could recognize as an AI image and see if it has the capability to identify AI outside of a specific creator interface. In Photoshop, it does not list that it's AI generated, but you can see that it's Dall-E generated, and there is a content credentials logo inside of the image, which is interesting. It's not giving much of an explanation, but let's go over to the content credentials website where you can load an image and find out where the image came from. And again, Dall-E, OpenAI, Meta, Photoshop, Adobe are participating in this. Midjourney is not currently. If I load the image, it's telling me that it came from Dall-E, that it's an AI generated image. Interesting. I'm going back into Midjourney and I'm finding the original hand images I generated in 2022. The ones that looked really bizarre with the prompt hands or human hands. I'm loading that into the content creator website. And again, it doesn't recognize it as AI. It doesn't identify it as being generated by AI. So I load it into Photoshop and I check the content credentials again. And again, it doesn't recognize AI. Thanks so much, you guys.